Okay.
This is the Your Money Hour podcast. I am your host, Dakota Grady. Everybody, welcome to the show. No matter where you are in the world, thank you for joining us. I am Dakota Grady, and if you need help with your personal finances, I got you covered. It's tax season, y'all. Some of y'all may be getting large refunds and have some things in mind to go splurge, and then in 2 weeks later, you broke. So before you spend that money, go to dakotagrady.com, get resources on how to manage your finances, how to manage your coins, so you won't be broke. And if you have a business, specifically a practitioner, an NP, or somebody in the medical profession who owns a business, you need help with accounting and taxes, I'm your guy too. Go to dakotagrady.com, get resources on how to do your bookkeeping, or hire me to do it for you. dakotagrady.com. So I'm happy to have my guest tonight, Miss Sabetha Price. She is actually met her about 3 weeks ago, I think, at the boot camp in Atlanta, Georgia. And so I wanted to have her on the show tonight. She actually blew up on TikTok, so I wanted to have her on the show tonight and just talk about how she got there and other things too, being a wife and how she could possibly balance being a wife and an entrepreneur. But without further ado, Sabetha, you got the floor. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. So they call me the TikTok queen, and I am also the vegan BBL creator. So I wear two hats. Balance.
Awesome. So tell her about who you are and how you blow up on TikTok. Like, what's your formula? What's your secret?
So like the secret is community building. So like the secret is staying consistent. The secret is just showing up and shining as yourself. Those are the three biggest secrets. Being yourself, showing up and shining, and operating in your flow and your purpose. Like that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
So you are in fitness, right?
Yes.
Talk about that. How important is fitness to entrepreneurs? Because we are driven. We spend a lot of time in our business, sales, meetings, doing all the content creation. We do everything unless we hire a team. But how do we make fitness important?
So one of the greatest things that I heard and that I kind of stick with now is that when you walk for at least 30 minutes per day, it like gives you a sense of clarity. It allows you to actually think more creatively. So a lot of times when we feel like we don't have time to do something, especially if it's meditation, if you say that you do not have time to do something, that means that you need to dedicate at least 5 more minutes to that time. So if you're like, I don't have 10 minutes to meditate, that means that you need to meditate for at least 15 minutes because that will provide you the clarity and the structure for your day. So nothing else, I meditate every single day of my life. Like I do not miss it. I don't skip it. Like that's the one form of mental exercise that I am sure to get in. Because
So you
if
do
I
it.
Hey, first thing in the morning, like I am not in a good mood. I'm not happy. I'm not thinking clearly. You know how some people like they need their coffee or their cranky? I need my meditation. I need like my meditation and my dedication to like the daily structure of my life, or else nothing is gonna get done. And I'm like, why do I feel off today? Oh, I didn't meditate. And when I realized I didn't meditate, even if I skip it during the morning, I'm like, let me take 5 minutes and just meditate.
That's something important to have that mental mind state of focusing on your goals. Now, when you meditate, do you like walk us through that process? Do you focus on certain things? Like, what do you do when you meditate? You specifically.
So for like the first 1 or 2 minutes of meditation, I'm just in a constant state of gratitude. I'm listing what I'm grateful for, who I'm grateful for, what scenarios I have been happy to have at certain point in life. I'm grateful for the future things as well, because I know where I am right now is not where I'm going to be in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I know that it's only up from here as long as I remain in the highest frequency, which is gratitude. So a lot of times we could be stuck in oh my goodness, I don't have this. They're doing this. I don't look like this. I don't have this. And when you sit back and realize that you are way further than what you were 3 years ago, 3 months ago, 3 days ago, that allows you to really hone into your gratitude moment, because constantly, especially being on social media, like a lot of people just show you the highlight reel and don't show you the real. So our brain gets a little clouded, but we're gonna fix it. Like when you in a state of gratitude, you fix it real quick.
Interesting. So your life is basically social media per se, right?
Yes.
How do you overcome comparison? Because I mean, the highlight reel in your life, like, well, do I really want to stay in my real life? Why can't I just be in this highlight reel for the rest of my life?
So I realized that my lane looks different from somebody else's lane. Like somebody could blow up overnight, which some people say that I did, but it took me 13 years to blow up overnight. But I just stay in my lane, realize my path is unique to me. So when you realize like, hey, this person might have gotten there in 3 months, but would you want to get there in 3 months? Or would you like to take your time for 3 years to get there and build a solid foundation? It's just all about having those foundations set in place.
So in terms of community, you mentioned the community, I think on IG Live. How important is having a community on social media to be able to support you, to back you? Because the content we create is not for us, it's for our community, right? The people, right? So talk about that. How important is that?
So having a community is like one of the most important things ever, because when you have your community, you have your solid set of people that you're focusing on. You create content based on them. And your community is going to support you, whether you're having a sale, whether you're not having a sale, whether you're having a good day, bad day, what have you. Like they're there for you. So those are your all-stars. Like you creating content for your all-stars.
I got you. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So do you create the content and then do you maybe send it via email, or is it all social media based?
So I send the majority of my content to TikTok and then I funnel it down from there. So sometimes I send out emails, sometimes I send out text messages, but mainly it's going to TikTok and then funnels out.
Mm.
But when
So
you
you
build your community, you could also be building up your email list and your text list at the exact same time. So like if you're running a sale or a promotion, or you're just like, hey guys, I'm having a great day. How are you guys feeling? Respond back. Like that just builds up that sense of community, because you're not just selling to people. You're in the business of impacting lives.
right, that's the thing. Impact is key. Talk about how you get people from social media to your email list, because sometimes it's difficult. Like for me, I post content, but I have more followers on my social platforms than I have on email list. Talk about that part there.
So you need to make sure that you have some sort of lead magnet, some sort of something that people want. Okay, not just like something that you throw together. Like make a lead magnet so good. Make a product, a digital product or a physical product or an ebook so good that it's worth at least $7 or $14, and you give it away for free. Okay. Like what a lot of people do that are like big in the industry, no matter what industry it is, they give away 90% of their stuff for free. And if you're like, oh my goodness, I gave away everything I know, there's nothing left, I have nothing left, that means that you need to study your craft even further. So that's one of the biggest things. When I first started out, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't give away this for free. This is all I have. And then it clicked inside of me. I was like, oh, I need to study more. So that's how I was like, okay, I'm a forever student. This learning journey is not going to end. We're still in this. Let's go.
People say like they may have a product or service that they want to, an idea that they want to launch, but they don't want people to steal it. I'm like, most people they don't want to work, so
Yeah, that part. Say it again for the people in the back.
right. Talk about that, because I mean, like people have an idea, they sit on them for years or for a lifetime, and don't execute. Talk about that, please.
So you like a lot of people have this thing. which I hate the phrase, which is like a failure to launch. Like they have all these amazing amazing thoughts, amazing ideas, and they're just like, oh my goodness, I don't think I could do it. And they're like, okay, I'm gonna put it out, but first I gotta trademark it. First I gotta get my logo, then I gotta get my branding colors, then I gotta get this. You gotta do that. Like you gotta do it ugly. Okay, you have to just execute, just go for it. Because my first type of get snatch cream, so I create like body creams and stuff to like slim your waist, get a bigger butt and everything like that. Like my first set of products, they were bad. Okay, they were crunchy, they smelled funny, like they were grainy. But you know what I did? I put it out there and I let people try it for free. I let people try it for free. I'm like, what do you like? What don't you like? What can I improve on? What do you like most about it? Like you need to have a sample audience to tell you like, hey, this is trash, but try again. Like you need that. And when somebody says something negative, take everything as constructive criticism. That's one of the biggest things. Like if somebody is just like, oh, this is bad, this bad, this bad, don't take it personally. Okay. But those of y'all who have not listened or read to the 4 agreements, like do that. It will save you so much in business and in life because one of the rules is to not take anything personally. Read it. Listen to the audiobook. It's free on YouTube. Okay. Just get into it.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, like execution is important because, man, people have things that people need. One speaker, he talked about basically people may die because we do the thing that we have to offer them, whether it be health, finance, whatever it may be. If we don't do our part and execute the plan, the vision that God gave us, then somebody could be on the brink of causing suicide. Really, I mean, literally, right? In your field of health, how important is it for you to get your message out to your people?
So, when I first started, it was like 20. I first started my business in 2013, took a hiatus, picked it back up in 2020, and when I started again, I was very unsure of myself. I was like, I don't know. So I did it ugly, I did it scared, and put it out. And somebody emailed me and said that their friend and like them and their friend had scheduled to get BBOs at the same time. Their friend ended up having a lot of crazy complications, and they didn't have crazy complications and didn't go through with the surgery because they came to me. So I, in turn, saved a life, which was crazy because I thought that my product wasn't good enough. I thought wasn't up to the standards. I felt insecure about my product, but at the end of the day, it still saved a life. At the end of the day, I did it anyway, and I was able to impact someone's life so effectively that when their friend eventually felt better, they started using my product. And they were like, you look better than me, and all you did was use my product, like use the Fit Fine Flawless products. So like that's what it's all about. Realize, like getting besides yourself. Like do not focus on you, focus on the people.
Right. Right. All right. Talk about a challenge you had to overcome when you started your business. You say you started your business how many times?
So listen, I started in South. This is probably my 6th business. Okay.
Wow.
Like I started off in fashion, then I went to catering, and then I went to vegan catering, then I went to making smoothies, and then I went back to fashion, and then boom, here we are at the Fit Fine Flawless. So listen, don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to pivot. Okay. That's one of the biggest things. You have to be comfortable with the pivot because that's how you grow. Okay. That was one of the things that I was nervous about it at first, like how kept pivoting and kept dropping out of school. Like I dropped out of college 6 times too. So I guess like that number 6 is something about my life's path. But I had to overcome me. The biggest obstacle I had to overcome was myself. Myself from being negative, myself from not believing in me, myself for constantly punishing myself for not finishing what I started. I have to overcome that piece of me that was broken that only I could fix. It didn't take like no amount of schooling, no amount of relationships, no amount of friendships would heal that piece of me. But when I sat down and realized, hey, this is the thing that's stopping me. This is the thing that's holding me back, and I have to face it. So the moment I sat down and really surrendered to the process, my life fell apart. Okay. It literally, like, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. It fell apart. But the way that it came back together was so beautiful. I would repeat that process over again.
Talk about that, please.
So, okay, we're going to get deep. Let me just go. So, my life was in like this weird cycle for about, it was 3 to 5 years. So the boyfriend that I had at the time passed away unexpectedly, like just passed away on the basketball court. And I was like, this is crazy. And then I left my hometown because it was too painful for me to be there. And of course, that was my 6th time dropping out of school. So I was like, I'm leaving school. I'm leaving everything I know. I need a new environment. I need to redevelop who I am as a person because the relationship was very codependent. So, like, me not having that, it was like I lost myself. Like, a part of me died that day. And then I ended up moving to Atlanta. I was in Atlanta for 3 years. I was like, I was going to I went back to school. That didn't work out. So maybe I did drop out 7 times. I went back to school. That didn't work out. Even with the scholarship, I was like, it's too painful. I can't focus. So I started like hanging out with the wrong types of people. I got my personal training certification, okay, randomly. I got my herbalist certification randomly. I was just trying to rediscover who I was. And then I realized probably like a week before I moved back to my hometown to finish school that the reason why a lot of things were not working out for me, the reason why a lot of relationships were not working out for me, especially friendships, is because I did not have instilled in me like a sense of needing to stick to something. I did not have the desire to complete anything in life. And I was like, you know what? The first thing I'm going to complete is school. So I went back to school, graduated at 26, walked across the stage with a huge smile on my face. And during it was like a 1.5 year period. Like, I went back to school. Then I took some time off of school to visit my mom, who was diagnosed with cancer. I went back to Virginia, stay with her, and then she was like, you need to hang out with like the one person that you know here. Is there any person that you know in Virginia? I was like, well, there is this one guy I used to work with. So when I took a semester off, because I kept dropping out of school, so I was like, hey, if you want to hang out, I'm here. He didn't answer the first time, and then I was like, I'll just hit him up on Facebook. He ended up answering on Facebook, and like we ended up started dating. Like, we were just friends, and then we started dating, and I was like, what in the world? So like in a year period of time, I graduated school, got married, and moved to Virginia. Like, and it all started from that broken place because I was able to heal so much just by understanding that, hey, maybe I am the problem. Maybe I am the problem. And I was like, hey, let me finish something. Let me peel back the layers and finally finish something. So after I finished school, life just started working out for me.
Wow. So you didn't want to commit, basically.
I didn't want to commit to anything. I had commitment issues. I was able to commit to everyone and everything else except for myself.
Wow. That's when it gets real, when you commit to yourself.
Yes. So
showing up for other people is easy, I guess, but for yourself, it can be hard, right? Why was it so hard though?
especially as a woman, because I feel like the way that women are conditioned is to always be givers and nurturers, and we don't ever like turn that inward.
Mm.
The moment that I treated myself as my own best friend, my world changed.
Mm.
I'm like, I wouldn't talk to my best friend like this. I wouldn't do this to my own best friend. Like, because before I realized that it was me that was the problem, that my mindset was the issue, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so stupid. I'm so lazy. I quit everything I started. Like, I'm this, I'm that, but every time that you put I am in front of something, it becomes real. It manifests itself. So I was like, okay, Sabetha. Okay, instead of saying I am a quitter, I'm a finisher. Okay, Sabetha, what else do you want to see in your life? Okay, instead of saying I'm so broke or I am broke, I am healed. Okay, I am wealthy, I am abundant. So these are the things that I say to myself first thing in the morning. And when I have a negative thought come into my head, okay, I think it's like 9,400 negative things that come into our head daily, without fail, just because of the human condition. But when I catch myself thinking negative about myself, I say nope out loud. I say no out loud. Like, people look at me like I'm crazy. I could be in the grocery store and I'm like, no. I could be trying on clothes in the mall. I'll be like, nope. Like, because I
So
refuse to allow myself to be hard on myself. The world beats you down enough. Like, who am I to beat myself down even further? I'm gonna lift myself up. Hold on. I know who I am and whose I am. So self-recognize that.
so now I really understand why you got the motive, why the meditation is important for you.
Yes.
Now I
Yes.
understand. So before we close, you follow Jesus. Jesus is
Yes.
Christ, right? Talk about how important your relationship with Christ is, because I'm gonna follow Christ too. And I want to just let the light shine for those who don't know Christ. Talk about that, your journey to become a follower of Jesus.
So I was raised in the church, like literally raised in the church. My grandfather's a pastor, my great grandfather was a pastor, my dad's a pastor, and like I was actually called to preach as well. But I believe that my message could be shared not necessarily behind the pulpit. I feel like I could be with the people, as they would say, like in the world, but not of the world. Okay, but I recognize that God is my source. Jesus is my source. Okay, like there is no way in this world that I can do all that I do and show up to all the places that I show up and be the light that I believe I am without knowing that there is an unlimited source. There is an infinite source. There is a power that surpasses all understanding that is guiding my footsteps. Okay. That can give me peace beyond understanding. Okay. Because there's a lot of times where I feel like I can't make it, but I'm like, as long as there's breath in my body, I know for a fact that I can keep moving. I may have to take a moment and meditate and pray and do what I need to do. Listen to my music, okay? Listen to some Tasha Cobb, listen to some and praying and really understanding like, hey, you did not come this far to be left right here. This is not the end. So like, God is my anchor, and that's just what I was taught. But it's one thing to be taught it, and it's another thing to know him. So the
Mm.
moment that I found and know God for myself, like, it's the knowing. I don't like the religious, like a lot of people are like religious and they're just like, oh, read the Bible, do all this different stuff. But I believe that I have a knowing of Christ. Like, not necessarily, I'm not gonna quote scriptures at you all day because I know the word is etched in my heart. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just in me. It's in me, not on me. So yeah.
It's dope. I like that. I like that. So what do you want to leave the audience with before we close about Miss Sabetha Price? You got the floor.
I'm gonna say the same thing that I said before. I'm like, dedication over motivation. because your feelings will lie to you. Feelings are a lie. Don't feel like doing something, do it because you're dedicated to it. Honor your craft and always operate in a sense of excellence. Even when people around you are not operating that way, you have to hold yourself at a certain standard. Like that's the only way that you're going to be successful, when you hold yourself at that point.
Awesome. So how can people find out about you online, especially TikTok, social media, and everywhere else?
Okay, so I am content, the number 2 currency underscore content, the number 2 underscore currency underscore on Instagram and on TikTok, the Fit Fine Flawless. So THEFIT flawless everywhere.
Awesome. Sabetha, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
And this is the Your Money Hour podcast.